You're so vicious.
Was that on air?
It was. Yeah.
I'm sorry, folks. I
I'm
was trying to deal with
a little aggressive.
a small situation here.
I want to think she's nice and decent.
Look, man, that is a very
You know, really
annoying.
look up the plant
Is that the plant? It was the creature in the plant. All right, so welcome back to Smile Jamaica. How come we're always smiling? Am I being attacked? Joining us via Zoom now to discuss the People's National Party's new president and presidency and what that means for the party. Damion Gordon, Assistant Lecturer of Public Policy and Political Leadership and Strategy in the Department of Government with the University of the West Indies. Good morning to you, Damion. Good
Morning,
to
my
have you
friend.
this morning.
Good morning, Simone. Good morning, Neville. Thanks for having me.
All is well.
Hope you're safe and dry, sir. Give us your thoughts on the outcome of the past weekend's or this weekend's presidential race.
All right, so the election was a good one from the standpoint of democracy. The turnout was 97%, which indicated that the delegates were excited. So the winning candidate, Mark Golin, would have commanded a decisive mandate from the delegates. Was a very comfortable win. So the campaign, both candidates as well maintained a high level of decorum and civility. So they led by example. The result may have been surprising to some. Some persons would have expected that delegates would have prioritized popularity, considering that Andrew Holness would have been perhaps the Andrew Holness factor would have been a lot of persons thought that the delegates would have perhaps considered the Andrew Holness factor. However, I think the delegates, to a great extent, looked at the broader picture. They felt that the party at this point in time requires sophisticated type of leadership. The party is at the lowest point it has been in since the 1980s. And to overcome and navigate this period requires a sophisticated, substantive leadership. And they felt that they had a responsibility to assess the leadership potential of both candidates. So they weighed their distinguishing attributes as well as their strengths and their weaknesses and determined that one of the two better embodied more of these qualities that the party need in its leadership right now. So I think the delegates must be given some credit for having discharged a responsibility with a great deal of care as well as dispassionately. So I think the delegates made a decision in a sound manner. So I think it was a good day for the party and a good day for democracy as well.
Yeah, you said that it was a decisive win for Mr. Golin, but about 1,400 and something people did not vote for him. About half of the delegates did not vote for him. Is that going to be tough for him to? I mean, he says unity. They both said unity. Is that going to be tough for him to bring everyone on his table?
All right. It may be tough because it's an election and there are raw emotions. The losers will feel emotional about the loss, considering that there was an internal election last year and some of the wounds on that election have not necessarily healed. And as according to AJ Nicholson, he recently said that some of the wounds that were opened from 2016 have not from 2007 when Dr. Peter Phillips had challenged Mrs. Simpson Miller. The party has not healed since. So clearly, there are raw emotions, and the party knows to spend some time to reconcile the differences within the party. The winning candidate has said that is one of his main objectives moving forward, to bring the party back together. There's a possibility that they may establish a committee with the responsibility for doing so, but certainly that has to be a priority now, to bring the party back together so that everybody in the party can understand that there's one PNP now. There's no more loser or winner. There are no sides in this anymore. The party is one, and that must be emphasized moving forward.
So from your analytical eye, what is it that you think gave Mark Golding the edge? Because you're looking at, if you juxtapose them, a career politician in in Miss Hannah. She's been doing this for a while. I mean, people talk about popularity, but she's been serving for a while, so she also has experience. And she clearly wanted to do this, as opposed to Mark Golding, who has his businessman acumen. He entered politics, but who was not really willing at one point to take this on until he decided that this was, I guess, in service to his country, this was the right thing to do. When you look at the two of them, what do you think it was that delegates thought was Mark Golding's advantage?
All right, so the delegates could have opted to be emotive about their decision because, again, the Andrew Holness factor would have been a consideration for the average
What do you
Jamaican.
call the Andrew Holness factor, Damion?
The popularity and the likability, and those are elements that Lisa Anna would have a clear advantage in.
But are you saying that is the only... But did she not also have years of service and experience under her belt?
She does have years of service, but again, there are some questions. There has been some questions about her stewardship of her constituency. For a lot of the voters, the stewardship of her constituency leaves much to be desired. And a lot of persons have said that the stewardship of her constituency, which was almost lost to the Jamaica Labour Party in the last election, indicates a deficiency in her leadership and her people skill. So those were question marks surrounding her. I think that people felt that Mark better embodies more of the qualities that the party needs in its leadership right now. Of the two candidates, they felt that Mark was a safer bet, and they may have had their different criteria, and they decided that Mark, more than Lisa Anna, met more of those criteria. I felt that it was a dispassionate decision, that they felt they were looking at the long-term requirements of the party and its leadership. And they felt that of the two, Mark was the more holistic, the one who better represents the leadership that the party wants to take it forward.
Strange question. Were you a part of the JLP? Who would you have wanted to win this race?
Well, instinctively, a lot of persons will say Mark, because instinctively a lot of persons believe that Mark is less popular, and therefore Lisa being more popular would be an almost equal or even competitor against Andrew Holness. However, it's important to realize that a general election is held in 5 years, and there's more than enough time for Mark Golding to make up any deficit where popularity is concerned. But there's also enough time for
he won.
to slide as well.
He won. So does that not in some way augur well for the fact that his popularity has risen?
That's what a poll that was done by Don Anderson showed that over the last several weeks, at the beginning of the election cycle, Lisa Anna had outpaced him by 10% points, but a poll that was done more recently showed that he had closed that gap.
Right, so he's popular. So the popularity argument now kind of is challenged because I've been on social media. He's popular with a lot of young people too. There are a lot of movers and shakers and influencers on social media who are going with Golding and advocating for people to go with Golding. So if popularity is Andrew Holness is, you call it the Andrew Holness factor, and it was the Lisa Hannah factor, it seems that it's now becoming a factor of this gentleman as well.
Well, he's not quite there yet. What he has done, he has spent the last several weeks making himself available to do radio and TV interviews. People have been hearing more about him. He has been expanding or crafting his national profile. So people are learning more about him as we go along. And I think that a lot of persons are like what they hear and like what they see. So he's not there as yet, but certainly he has an opportunity to reinvent himself. And by putting himself out there more, doing more media interviews, showing that he's open, he's accessible to the media and to the public, he will get there eventually. Right. So that is something that can be improved on.
Which will make for a more
overcome.
Which will make for a more competitive challenge in the next election.
Yeah.
Possibly. We don't know what will happen in 5 years, but quite possible.
Okay.
30 seconds to answer this one. How do you feel about the US elections?
From the standpoint of a Caribbean national who understands the foreign policy implication of the disposition of a president, I think it is good for us. I think that we can expect more friendly attitude towards Caribbean nationals from a foreign policy standpoint. So I think the result is in the best interest of Caribbean nationals.
Stay safe, my friend. Good to see you.
All right, same to you as well.
Yeah,
All
man.
right.
All right. Damion Gordon, Assistant Lecturer of Public Policy and Political Leadership and Strategy in the Department of Government at the UWI.
It might be raining, but we're heading to the Sunshine City. Is Portmore ready for parish status? Well, the mayor of Portmore, Leon Thomas, I think he says no, but we will have a chat with him and find out exactly what he says. Soon come.